Why would you need a black Superman when you have these guys? Hey, what's up, nerd fam? This is your boy Gershon. I want to welcome you to Into the Nerd. So last week it came out the Ta-Nehisi Coates and J.J. Abrams are teaming up to do a reboot on the Superman film. Most likely it won't be Clark Kent. It might be Calvin Ellis or Val-Zod. Hasn't been confirmed yet, but judging by the writer they've chosen, we can kind of assume that's where they're gonna go. My issue with that is that it goes with the thing that you might have heard me speak about before, which is just like the black versions of certain characters. Even if it's multiverse, it's very lazy. And I'd rather that instead of them inserting black guys into mantles that they've already existed and them having to do the very little work for these characters, I'd rather them either make original characters or use the ones they've already created. Today we're going to talk about some that are super powerful that you would love to get behind if they just showed you them. Now, I don't blame you if you don't know about them, because if you didn't read any comics or you don't read comics at all, which is okay, it's not for everyone, you might not know about them. But they have not put them in mainstream media. They haven't put them in a place where you can easily access them. So I'm going to talk about a few of them today. I think you're really going to dig. Let's get into it. Now, right within the DC universe, we got Icon, right? Icon's also an alien, also crash landed on Earth. A lot earlier, though, during slavery. He actually transformed his body into the first being he saw, which happened to be, he saw like a black woman. He transformed into a little baby boy, and he's literally been like impersonating like his own descendant ever since. He's also kind of conservative in his ideology, which actually puts him at odds with his future sidekick, Rocket, because she's the exact opposite. She's kind of like, liberal, young lady. And they obviously, they butt heads. She's the one who actually talks him into using his abilities to really save people, not just care about himself, which is really, really cool, that dynamic. They have an awesome dynamic that makes the characters more complex right there. He's also extremely powerful. He actually punched Superman off of out the watchtower in the middle of space at 50 feet or something like that. And Superman actually thought he was Kryptonian because that's how strong he is. Now, he also had like energy projection, so he has some power that Superman doesn't really have. Now, obviously, Superman still gets powerful from the sun, but we're talking about someone who literally is right there, like can fight Superman. Come on, why isn't he getting promoted? Now, he has been in Justice League Unlimited and like an episode of Teen Titans before, but it's about it. You're talking about like one's like over a decade ago and one's like about 4 or 5 years ago. So it's not really getting a shine, so I'm not surprised you don't know about it, but it's someone you can get behind. They've actually, Icon and Rocket are both part of the Dakotaverse, which, is Static and Blood Syndicate. Tons of black characters are there that you can get behind. They're actually re-releasing some of this Milestone stuff. Some new comics have come out, so please get behind that. And make sure you look up some of the old comics so you can read more about their stories. And you have to support them. You have to support them monetarily as well. But the creators also have to show you them. So make sure, once you find out more about them, talk about them online and say, we want these characters to be shown. Now, right after that, within DC, I would say another imprint, because Milestone was an imprint bought by DC, so I'll say another one would be Wildstorm. The Wildstorm universe has like really powerful characters that you would consider, especially in contrary to the Black Superman argument. That'd be Despot or Isaiah King and his sons Battalion and Strafe. Now, they come from a universe where you're either a spawn of two different races, like the Cherubim and the Daemonites. You're either a seedling, which means that the comet, this big comet that came close to the Earth in that universe, gave people powers, or you've been like genetically experimented on. Isaiah King already had abilities when he was born, but then that comet gave him even more powerful abilities. He became the most powerful psionic being on the planet. Those powers drove him and his team, literally called Team One, crazy. And then he became a villain. So he went from being a hero to a villain. He's got superhuman strength, can lift up like pretty much things of the size of continents with his mind, and his son has the same ability, except he uses literally his powers to like power like his projectiles, like guns and stuff like that, which is pretty awesome. And his son Strafe is very, very similar, and they're both part of Stormwatch, which is a whole other team, which I can do a whole other video on. But these are very powerful characters that you don't know about that are actually owned by DC as well. These are things that could be put out there once again in the mainstream media, but you don't know about them. They have awesome designs, cool stories, deep lore, but you don't know. and they pretty much non-existent to the general public. But you put them out there, they'll be cool. And we'll talk about why this is something that particularly happens with black characters. We'll get into that a little bit later. I'd also say another character from Wildstorm would be Black Halo. Black Halo is pretty cool too. I believe his story, he was like a rapper. He's like an overweight dude. He gets experimented on for a little bit, and then literally it makes his latent metahuman DNA become active, and then he literally, with his psionic abilities, literally like reshapes, like recomposes his body to what he looks like. He is also extremely powerful, pretty much Superman-esque powers, right? Why not? There's not a lot of development for him. So let's put some more development. And he's actually in a team called New Dynamics, which could definitely use some rebooting. Why not? Why not? That's a whole other character and a whole other group of people to get behind. Why not? Why not, right? I talked about Blood Syndicate before and all that. There's so many things. There's so many things that we could really get into right now, right? Now, another character that's in Wildstorm, but part of a whole other thing is called Ambrosia Chase. He is also someone who controls gravity, time. He's an expert marksman, and he's literally like a supernatural archaeologist. Like him and like 3 other people. Well, actually, it's just him and 2 other people. The 4th one is not there anymore. It was a guy named Elijah Snow. Literally, like their whole mission is to find out, like they're archaeologists to find out the secret history of the Earth. Meanwhile, trying to make sure that the normal thing that other beings from other planets aren't taking over at the same time. He's an awesome character. Don't know why I know why you haven't heard of him, because you haven't read the stories. That's okay. Go look at it. He's actually a really cool character. There's another person we should be getting into. Holocaust from Blood Syndicate. Like, he's powerful enough to fight Superboy, even though like he's a bad guy. That's okay. That's okay. I'm just trying to get you into these characters so you can see it. He also has like powers where he can pretty much melt just about anything. And he was like the son of like the mayor of Dakota, also like a gang leader, and then he becomes like he gets his own crime syndicate. It's pretty cool. Like, he's a pretty cool character, if I had to say so myself. I can jump to somebody who isn't even in DC, right? Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel is probably my favorite one out of all of the characters. That when people talk about Black Superman, he's the first person who I think about. Adam Brashear. Obviously, he was born in the 60s. His story is like intertwined with like the 1960s like racism, even though it doesn't define his character. He's pretty much, his story is also defined by loss, like the loss of his wife, the loss of one of his sons, one of his other sons turning evil, and also his detachment from humankind too, because of how powerful he is. Now, if I have to describe his power level, it'd literally be Superman with the ability to control energy, antimatter, and super longevity. Like, he is strong. Like, and if you've seen, like, he's one of the first people you could really put in like an animated short. Like, you know how they had that Hulk versus series? You could do something like that just with his story and have him fighting. He fought 2 extremely powerful beings. Hyperion, which is literally like was somebody who they stole exactly from Superman, and then Sentry, whose power is literally described as the power of 1,000 exploding suns. He fought both of them. He beat one handedly, and the other one he punched off the planet. Like, why isn't he here, right? He also has a relationship with Monica Rambeau later, so I'm hoping we get some version of him, but I hope it's not like depowered and nerfed, right? But where are they? Where are these characters, right? Like, why haven't you heard of them, right? What's going on with that, right? So, number 1, when it comes to support, we have to support these characters. They get like Marvel Unlimited app, look at it on, get the digital app so you can, read them. If you can't actually go to the store and buy them, or you don't have enough room to store the comics, I get it. Reading is reading, so whether digital or in person, I support it all, right? Besides that, that's the part you could do. The next would be on the creators, for them to find the value in it. Because here's what happens. A lot of people go, well, when Black characters, when they fail, they give up on them. That's the problem. Because plenty of white characters fail. Plenty of white characters, comic book readers have no interest in. It has nothing to do with them being white. It has to do with them just, not being that interested. But you know what they do? They push them out to mainstream media and they make them more interesting so the general public can go and watch it. So there's no reason why we don't have Icon, Blue Marvel, and all these other characters you don't know about. Because once they put them out there, give them their own show, you're gonna go, wow, this guy is cool. That's the whole point of it, right? But look at it. I'll give you an example. How many people do you know were asking for a Green Arrow show? How many of them? But when they put it out there, they renewed interest in said character because they were like, okay, well, I kind of like this, and they paired him up with Flash, even though that show wasn't really supposed to be about Green Arrow. Anyway, it was supposed to be like Gotham Knights or something, but whatever. There's a lot of characters. Stargirl. Were you asking for a Stargirl show? No, you weren't. But they put her out there, so you can go out there and see. Now, I have no problem with these characters getting shows. I'm just saying, why aren't these characters that I just said? Why instead of like they have those original characters like Green Arrow, they have no problem giving them a show when people are not asking for it. Why do they have a problem doing that with black characters? Instead, they take the lazy route. Oh, just make the black version of this one. Just put a black face in this, make it multiverse, don't make it matter. You don't have to do multiverse. You don't have to put them in another universe. These characters I just named are in the same universe with the Justice League, with the Avengers. They can coexist with the main characters. You don't have to go to another universe. They're not other. They're not somewhere else. See? That's another slick move they do, right? Oh, keep them over there. No. Don't do that. If you really care about having these characters or representation, right? If you really care about that, then put the characters that you created and you put all this work into, or that you didn't put all the work into, put them to the forefront. That's all you have to do. And there's so many crazy look at Black Lightning. Black Lightning actually has its own show. Obviously, it's been canceled. But Black Lightning is insanely powerful in the comics. People don't know that. It's okay. Go read it. Go read The Outsider's Run, where Batman literally tells him, like, you're up there with Superman and Wonder Woman. Literally says that to him. There's so many. There's another, like, random character named Maxim. Maxim is from, like, an alternate story, alternate, like, timeline where Adam Warlock has like an evil version of himself named Magus, and he pretty much goes back in time to stop him, and he is out there fighting Hercules and stuff like that. Like, now, obviously, this character, there's nothing has been done with him for like over 20 years. But that can all change because we're Guardians of the Galaxy, right? The general public had no idea who Guardians of the Galaxy was. One of my favorite groups, especially with New Words, one of my favorite guys is Nova, stuff like that. So I'm all about the cosmic heroes in Marvel. However, general public didn't know. So they put them out there. Now they're popular. This can happen with literally anyone. You put the right writing behind someone, you make them palatable for the general public, anyone can know about it. But for some reason, when it comes to original black characters that are extremely powerful, they have a problem with that. It's very weird. And it's not just about people buying it. Because there are a lot of comics that people don't buy, but they don't ever give up on the character. So, okay, that didn't work. Let's shove them out again. See? There's something wrong here. And I need you to stop going, let me just get the skin swap version. Because once you keep on saying yes to that, they move farther and farther away from showing the Blue Marvels, the Icons, Battalion, the Despots, and even some of the less powerful ones as well. Even some of the less powerful ones like Cinch. Like, it's an awesome guy too. There's so many out there that are just so powerful, and Gentle from like Wakanda. Like, there's so many characters that are really, really powerful. But, if we keep on settling for things that are either swapped or just these multiverse versions that just have someone sharing the mantle, then we're never going to see these original characters. So once you see them, support them, talk about them, and we should be in a good place. Into the nerd.